everyone, welcome back to the 30th episode of the Stitch with Love podcast. My name is Shannon. I am a knitter and a crocheter coming to you from Palmerston North, New Zealand. If you are a returning viewer, you may notice my hair looks a little different. I got a haircut yesterday, so I now have a fringe, which I'm getting used to still. And my hair is now quite short. I've got it up at the moment, but these little bits, when I go to work, I have to pin them up because they don't actually reach my ponytail because my hair is about here now. So it used to come down to about here, is now here. So I've had a big haircut. Funny story about that actually before I get into the knitting. I went to work yesterday, for those of you who don't know. I work with kids. I do before and after school care and holiday program for primary school aged children, and some of the kids thought I was a completely different person. I had two kids tell me they thought I was a new staff member because apparently I look that different. I don't know if I do or not. It is weird though with having hair on my face now because I haven't had a fringe in like, oh gosh, probably going on about 3 years. So yeah, that is that. Anyway, getting back into the podcast. If you are new here, welcome. I'd love to have you. If you like today's video, remember to subscribe so that you don't miss any future episodes. I will also at the end of this episode have linked a playlist, on the end screen where you can click to see all previous episodes as well. I'm really sorry. Ugh. And if you are returning, thank you for coming back. I really appreciate it. So we're going to get into some knitting. I always do this. I left a project in the other room. That's okay. I'll get it later. Anyway, we'll get into some knitting. So first, I have no finished... Actually, no, yes, I do have a finished object. I'll switch things up. I'll do that at the end. Because again, it's not here. So this is my Caledania Cowl by Amber O'Brien. So this is where we're up to now. I'm actually doing the setup rows at the moment to start doing the colour work. So I don't actually remember the last time I did stranded colour work, so this will be fun. So I'll be doing that soon. So I've done the bobbles, so these sections here, and the way she does her bobbles is really cool. It's a paid for pattern, so I won't say too much, but it's just that it involves short rows. So if you need practice short rows and you want to do some bobbles, this might be quite good. So I'm using 2 yarns here, this one at the top, so they're both from, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. They're both from Mama Woolen yarns. If you are a regular viewer of this podcast, you've probably heard about her quite a bit. I will leave her shop linked below. They're both on her Fab 4-ply base, which is 100%, I think it's superwash merino 4-ply. This colour here, the purple, is Vamp, and this colour here is Spun Gold. It's currently living, take the yarn out, in my Harry Potter Marauders map. I can't remember what they called it. It's like a pouch box bag by In Stitches that I got from Capital Fibre Fest. So that's where this lives, which is cool. And the needles I'm using currently are 3.5mm needles. These are my Caspian Wood interchangeable set, but soon I will be changing, I think, to 3.75 for the colour work. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I can't remember what the length of the cable is. I was silly and didn't write that one down. So I was working on that this morning. I don't have work today because it's Saturday, so a couple of days off and then back on Monday. What do I do next? I'll do this one. So this is a bag by Knit Bits. Where's the front? Oh my gosh, my fringe. It's gonna take a while for me to get used to this. So if I'm trying to like reposition it, I'm sorry. Like you see that bit is just, it's gonna take me a little while. I apologize now. This is a bag by Knit Bits that I also picked up from Capital Fibre Fest. And then here is my, what's the name of it now? Siren Song, that's it. Siren Song shawl by Libby Johnson or Trudy Myrtle. So this is what I've got so far. I'm using 4mm needles. I'm using Knit Picks. Oh my gosh, Knit Pro Zings. And the yarn is yarn that I dyed myself. So these are both on 4-ply sock base, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and I used jacquard acid dyes to dye these. So yeah. I was knitting on this quite a bit, and then throughout the week I admit I haven't really been knitting too much aside from one particular thing, which I will show you in a minute. And my sock. It's kind of been it. It's been one heck of a week. I'm tired. I'm very, very tired. So I'm hoping to knit on some of this today, but once I've recorded this, I've got to edit it. And I've got to clean my house, which currently looks like a pigsty. Yeah. I've not been very organised this week, unfortunately. But that is okay. We all have off weeks. So yeah. There isn't too much I can say about this. It's a paid for pattern. I've knitted a I've knitted a shawl by Libby Johnson before. That was my flounce, that's the word. My flounce shawl that I knit earlier on in the year when we moved down. So this is and I've also knitted a Nessa, which I knit in Malabrigo. So this is my third, I think, Libby Johnson pattern. So yeah. I'm currently working on that. But started the week working on it, and then it kind of got put to the wayside a little bit, so unfortunately. I haven't worked too much on my sister-in-law's wrap, so I won't show you that because there's like nothing to show, unfortunately. I forgot to show you this last week, but oh my gosh, everything's tangled. I really need to get myself sorted. This is the baby blanket that I'm working on, using, well, I don't know what that was, using Stylecraft. Yeah, Stylecraft. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Stylecraft Special DK, which is 100% acrylic. So 3 colours here. This is the beautiful shells pattern, which is quite easy to find, which is good. Yeah. So this is one of my crochet projects at the moment. And this is quite good for mindless, I find, at the moment. So, working away on this. It's living in this old tote bag from Hobium that, oh gosh, I've had for ages now. So, oh my gosh. I have another crochet project down here which just kind of looks like a circle at the moment. So I've started making an Amigurumi Flamingo. The pattern is by Grayson Yarn. It's a free pattern on her blog, and I'm using good old 4 Seasons Spot Saver from Spotlight. It's a standard Aran weight, 100% acrylic. Yeah. I've made the beak. Has lots of ends. Started the body, but because being amigurumi, you're using a hook that's a lot smaller than what you would normally use. So I'm using a 3.5 here. It hurts my hand, so I can only work on this a little bit at a time. As you can tell, the fabric's quite stiff, so. Not too much more to say about that one. I'm working on it. I'm working on it for some kids at work, so there's that. Lots of whips this week. This is my bag by Rosea by Lily, which I bought off Etsy. And if you are returning, you've probably seen this bag a lot. It is my sweater size bag. So any jumpers I'm knitting generally will live in here. And this is, I don't know how much I've worked on it since last week. I think I've worked a couple of centimeters, I think. This is my Tresco Jumper by Along Avec Anna. So I'm working the body at the moment. She's just stockinette. I'm using 4mm Caspian wood ones from Knit Picks again. And the yarn is a, oh my gosh, I can't see, a Spotlight Milland, which I got ages ago. And with the Millands, you can only get them in store. And I think they're actually starting to phase them out, because when I went into Spotlight last week, there was like 3 bags left, and normally they have 2 big bins of them. And this is just my Spotlight, but I think they're actually phasing them out. So if you live in Australia or New Zealand and you want some Millands, maybe go have a look at getting some now, because I think they're phasing them out. I don't know, but I think so. So yeah, I've still obviously got a lot to go. I've got to knit. So this is a free pattern, by the way. I've got to knit 20 centimeters of stockinette, and I've got like 1.5. So I need to work on this a bit more. But as previously mentioned, I have been distracted this week, which will be one of my next talks. So yeah, this is my Tresco. It's free, which is brilliant. I think I'm only halfway through it, but I think next time I knit it, I'm not going to knit it in acrylic. Now, there's nothing wrong with acrylic, but I'm in the process of trying to use a lot of my acrylic stash simply because I found that I prefer working with natural fibres, and I'm now in a position where I can afford to buy more natural fibres now more often rather than acrylic. So I still use acrylic for some things like baby items, toys, but for things for myself, I'm more going towards wool and cotton and things like that now. That's just my own personal preference. But yeah, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't feel bad. It's just, I like wool. It's warmer. But yeah, so that's that. Oh, don't want stitches falling off. Pop that away. Oh, very tired, as I said earlier. But I like it. I like recording these, so I'm going to record it anyway. Yeah, so I'll move on to what's been distracting me this week, and then I'll show you my sock, because my sock is currently on my bedside table in my bedroom at the other end of the house. So if you saw last week's episode, you would have seen I won a bunch of yarn from Hobby. This is one of their twisters. So I won this in a giveaway through their YouTube channel. So this is the twister. It's 250 grams, approximately 1,000 meters. It says it's a sport weight yarn. It says between a 3 to 4 millimeter needle and a 3.5 to 4 millimeter hook. And it's, oh, what's the content again? 55% cotton and 45% acrylic. So this is one of them, and this is what I've been using. And this is what I've been knitting. So, considering the fact I got distracted a whole week by it, it doesn't look like much. Oh my gosh. I've got like I've got a lifeline in there too, because I'm about to start experimenting. So, I've actually I got an idea using this yarn for a shawl design. So this is one of my first designs. Hopefully. No idea what it would be called. Yeah, I just, at the moment, the idea I have for it is do the setup. So it's going to be like this, and it will go up a little bit longer, and then we'll decrease at one end and increase at the other to basically make it like a rectangle, and then when you get to the other end, decrease on both ends, bring it down. That's the idea. Whether or not that will work, I don't know. It's going to be lots of trial and error. I'm at the point now where I'm actually going to start doing a lace section. I don't know what stitch pattern yet, hence why I put the lifeline in, plus I don't know if it's going to work. So if it doesn't work, I can rip back to the garter setup section and go from there again. So I don't know if you can tell, it's very slightly started the colour change now. I didn't notice that last night. Too dark for me to notice. So yeah, that is what I've been working on at the moment. No idea how long it will take. No idea if it's even going to work. But that's part of designing, isn't it? It's just going along with it and seeing what happens. I'm writing it and knitting it as I go. I'm making it up as I go along and just writing down what I do. And if I decide I don't like it, I go back, take it out, and that's just how I'm going about it. Yeah. Lots of trial and error with this one. Right. So, probably see a lot more of this. I'm going to start the next section now, and I'm a little bit confused and nervous, but hey, we'll get there. I'm just going to go get my sock so that I can show you, because I also have a finished sock, which is very exciting. So I'll be back in a minute. Sorry, I tried to press pause and it didn't quite work. I think it's working now. Which way up does this go? Now I'm going to try and see if this will fit on my sock blocker properly. Unlike last time where it looked horrendous. Oh, that's a lot better. Right. So, ignore the ends that haven't been woven in. This is a shorty sock that I finished earlier this week. This yarn that I'm using was another Milland bag from Spotlight, so I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm guessing it's sock yarn by the feel of it and the weight of it and things like that. I could be completely wrong, but it's working at the moment. So it's a shorty sock. I'm following like the basic, like for the heel flap and the gusset and the heel turn and the toe, I'm following the pattern Vanilla Socks on Magic Loop by Crazy Sock Lady, but the rest of it I'm kind of just going along what fits for me. So I did 10 rounds of twisted rib for the cuff, 5 rounds for the leg, because I'm making a shorty. Then I did slip stitch heel and heel turn and gusset. And then after the gusset decreases, I did 50 rounds for the foot and then the toe as it says in the pattern. So I did have a slight issue with the kitchening at the end. You can kind of see it's a little bit funny. I was kitchening the toe while on the phone to my mum. Don't try and kitchen a stitch while on the phone to your mum. Yeah, it didn't quite go as I had planned. So this is the first one of the pair. Needs its ends woven in. The second one is living in my Japanese knot bag by Knit Bits. You kind of see their label. This is my walk and knit project. Oh my gosh, tangled needles. So this is where I am. But this one, I've done the cuff, the leg, the heel, the heel flap, the heel turn and the gusset, and I'm currently working the foot. This stitch marker here is by Mama Willing. I showed it last week. Same with this one here. So yeah, this is what I've been working on. I've been working on this on the way to work because I walk to work, I don't drive. I'm not driving and knitting. And it's also just the project I take with me if I go out because I'm just knitting stockinette at the moment, which is so nice. So yeah, I'm hoping to finish this by today or tomorrow because I want to enter this pair because I started the first one on the 31st of July. So maybe I'll be able to enter these the second sock week, which is being hosted by Nitty Natty. It's my hope. I also want to get the ends woven in for this pair and the orange pair and enter them for summer sock camp. It's the whole reason why I started knitting socks again, and now I do it a lot. So yeah, I have socks. Yay! So that's all my works in progress for this week. I don't have any new yarn to show you. I was gonna buy new needles, but then I decided to wait, and I'm really glad I did because we had some bills come out this week, so that's actually quite helpful that I didn't. So there's nothing new. Oh my gosh, there's nothing new to show you in the knitting world. So that's it really for this week. I'm hoping next week that I'll be able to show you a little bit more of the design I'm working on. Hoping this will be done and a new pair of socks cast on. Probably using the same yarn because I'm just trying to figure out what the lengths I like and the fit before I use some of the hand-dyed sock yarn that I have. Maybe I'll have another finished project too. It's the hope. But then I've also got to supervise some of next week, so I might not have as much time because I'll have the work phone with me for a couple of days, which is kind of annoying. But hey, we're all going to have holidays, and my boss is having a well-deserved holiday, so, you know, and I'm having mine come up in August. We are in August. In October, where I'll have a week and a half off, which will be brilliant. We're going back up to Auckland, so we're going home. We're going to go see our families. John is my husband, if you don't know. He's going to go meet up with his friends. We're going to Armageddon, up in Auckland. I think it's in Green Lane. I also want to go to Lupine Wool Co, which is a wool shop up there. Marina, if you're watching this, I might message you if you to catch up as well. Yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm gonna be up there for a week, and then when we come back down to Palmy, I've got a few days off. I think it ends up being 5 days off because I've got 3 work days off and then the weekend before I go back to work, so which is nice. So I'm looking forward to that, but until then I'll be working every day up till then, obviously aside from Saturday and Sunday. So it's, yeah, we've had a kind of an odd week. There's been stuff happening and things, but we will get there. We will definitely get there. I'm actually going to a different venue on Monday, so we actually have 2 venues down here in Palmy. I work at one, I'm the assistant supervisor there, but I'm actually going over to the other one on Monday. The kids wanted to see me, and you know what, it'll be nice to go see some of the kids and see some of the other stuff. So I'm going to be over there on Monday, which will be quite weird because I'm so used to being at my venue. But I'll be back with them on Tuesday, and yeah, so that is kind of my life at the moment. Not too sure at the moment what the future holds in the sense of work and being in Palmy. John and I will be sitting down again in probably sometime soon, maybe next month, and kind of looking at like our finances and stuff and deciding if we potentially want to stay here. So it's very up in the air at the moment, but it's not bad. A little bit confusing, very, very tired. So I'm trying to try and change my diet up a little bit, see if that helps. So I'm just very exhausted. I slept in so late this morning. I went to bed at like 8:30, I think, which is really early for me on a Friday. Went to bed at like 8:30 and wake up to about 11 this morning. Like, I was awake, but then I went back to sleep and got out of bed at 11. So yeah, and I'm still tired, and I'm really tempted to have a nap at 4:45, which is probably not the best idea. Yeah, I don't know. We'll get there. It's, as I said, a little bit up in the air at the moment, but I'm just trying to take it one day at a time at the moment. I've got my knitting, I've got my cat, I've got my husband, we've got some awesome friends, we've got a wedding coming up in a couple of months, which is really exciting. Be the first wedding we've gone to that's not our own. I don't think I've actually ever been to a wedding that's not my own. I've only been to one and I was the bride, so don't really think that counts. So that'll be exciting. And then we've got another wedding next year. So happy times. Yeah. So anyway, that is all the blabbering on for this week. I am going to go and load my dishwasher because that needs doing, and fold my washing. All the exciting things, and yeah, and figure out where to go with this because I have an idea. My creative juices are flowing, so I'm trying to make the most of it while it lasts. Before I get bogged down and exhausted and end up not doing it. So I'm just gonna sit down and see how it turns out. So until next week, I will see you then. I hope you have a great week, and whatever you're doing, whether you're knitting, crochet, making, or nothing of the above, I hope it's bringing you some joy, and I will see you later. Bye!